You're listening to the Crew Talk Podcast, a conversation about chasing growth.
Can you stop? You're making me laugh. Like, you really put on a persona.
Okay. Alright, guys. Welcome back to Crew Talk episode 12. Got a super special guest. Yeah, she's part of the gang or the crew. So our special guest, for those who are listening, is my girlfriend, Mackenzie Marsh. For those of you who are watching, you've probably seen her on the YouTube channel doing different vlogs. We got a special one coming out when we went wakeboarding, where she was the only one who successfully made a lap. But that's another story for another day.
Thank you very much.
So, how was the trip down to New Orleans from up there in that other city?
New York.
Yeah, wherever it is.
It was pretty good actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, no hiccups.
Since it's coronavirus time, it's Corona time. How was the airport?
The airport was actually more packed than I thought. My flight was really packed, which was surprising.
Did they have like the one person every other seat?
No, they didn't. It was full.
American, right?
Yeah, it was American. I mean,
all they care about is the money.
You said what?
All they care about is the money.
Yeah, they do. But it was obviously required for everyone to wear masks. But you know, I did what I had to do.
So I'm assuming it didn't feel much different besides just one.
It really didn't, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, like, no, there was nothing else other than just wearing masks. But I thought that the flight wouldn't be as packed as it was. But
yeah,
I guess a lot more people are traveling now, so.
Yeah, I guess so. But so yeah, how's life been since you're a graduated corporate woman now?
Oh my god. It's definitely different, I would say. I mean, I feel like a lot of people can agree with this, but when you're in school, I feel like you're so used to a structure of like waking up. I mean, for us, it was like practicing or going to training, and then.
Yo, she's an athlete.
Former. But yeah, it was just doing that, going to class, studying, and now, I mean, obviously work is a schedule too, but it's a much different adjustment.
What's one thing that you miss from being a student?
I actually can't say that I miss being 5 minutes from my friends when I literally live with two of my best friends right now.
Shout out to Taylor and Fran.
Yeah, shout out to them. But I don't know. I feel like school was fun. There wasn't as much worries. And not that, I mean, work is work, you know. It's definitely different than school, and I feel like there's a lot more time in school to just relax and have that breathing time, whereas now it's different.
Yeah, a lot of my friends, when we talk about what we miss, it's like being around the guys or being around like the squad. I mean, if you're living with them after you graduate, then it's not really much to miss. It's just another chapter with the same characters.
Yeah, no, I will say I am very...
Was that kind of smooth? Another chapter with the same characters?
Okay, stop. I will say I am very happy and lucky to be living with my best friends. But, I mean, we even talk about it a lot, too. You know, work is just get up, go to work. You have... I mean, for us, work has been kind of crazy lately, so we've been working all day. I mean, you saw me this week.
Yeah, it's pretty rough. I don't understand how they expect you to get stuff done being on a call every however many minutes.
That's the thing too. So, well, I guess for me, because I am working like in the retail space too, we're preparing for like Black Friday, and I don't know why I did that. We're planning for Black Friday and all of that. So I mean, yeah, it's definitely been crazy, and I feel like there's no time, because by the time I'm done and want to work out. Yeah. Haven't done that in a while.
It's funny that we're talking about this, and I basically know all of this. Is kind of like a little combo for the audience.
Yeah.
So yeah, me and Mackenzie are very, very deep thinkers, right, Mackenzie?
Yeah.
We're super philosophical, and we thought this would be the perfect opportunity to let our minds grow, because on the podcast we're chasing growth.
Why are you so animated right now? Can you relax?
I'm in my philosophical mindset. But yeah, basically the topic I wanted to talk about today was happiness, and what is happiness. So what does that mean to you?
I feel like it definitely is, it encompasses a lot of different things. So for me personally, happiness is who I surround myself with. what kind of energy I'm looking for that puts me in a positive state.
Right.
And I guess what I want my future to look like.
Okay.
So those are kind of the things for me that I really take into account when it comes to my happiness.
Okay.
What about you?
So for me, I feel like I'm truly happy when I'm doing something that I enjoy. Personally, I don't. It'd be unrealistic to be happy all the time.
Yeah.
So that's why I think that happiness, to me, happiness is like a moment when everything's going the right way. And the more moments you have like that, the happier you're going to be.
That's an interesting way to think about it.
Yeah, because personally, like I said, like if I was happy the entire time, my highs would blend together, and
it wouldn't be as high.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, high, like the more you do something, the less it affects you. So that's kind of how I look at it. Happiness is a moment where things are going the right way for me.
So, what do you think of the phrase then that everyone says of money can't buy you happiness?
That it's very subjective, personally, because for me, like I said, happiness is a moment when things are going the right way. If it takes money to buy that moment, then yeah, money can buy happiness.
So in terms of moments then, like, would you say, like how I mentioned, it's who you surround yourself with, like the positive energy, like do you take that into account as much, or like what?
Definitely. But think about it like this. Say
Think about it like this.
Say you surround yourself with all your friends, everyone who makes you happy, but everyone's in a bad situation. So like say me and my 3 friends, we're all broke, we all have tons of bills, we're like fighting day to day to pay the bills and to pay whatever. We have to pay to get to work, we have to pay to get back from work, and then our work check is only paying for the lights. I'm surrounded by the people I want to be happy with, but the situation's not happy.
See, my thing though is in those situations, right, when you're like down and out and you're grinding, like what are your moments of escape where you can actually find that? Like I think it's like a dual edge in that sense, where I do get what you mean, like the situation you're in can bring you down, but at the same time, like those people can also uplift you.
Sure.
Do you know what I mean?
And it kind of goes back to what I was saying about like it being subjective based on what happiness is to you. If, I mean, like you said, there could be moments in there where like we do something fun and that'll bring us happiness, but if our sole focus of being happy is not being in a situation where we're constantly thinking about money, money is the tool to get us happiness.
Yeah, no, and that's how I feel about that phrase too, because I feel like whenever I was younger, everyone always would say that phrase and throw it around, but the more I thought about it, the more I'm like, honestly, like in order for me to live the life I want to live, like you're gonna need some money. You know what I mean? Like it's gonna buy you that happiness, and that's the thing where I'm talking about like how I want my future to look. That's also what I take into account too.
Okay, so let's do a little like imagination scenario. If you could dive into a moment of happiness for yourself, what would that look like?
I feel like it would be traveling.
I agree. I can see multiple different moments for myself, but elaborate a little bit.
I mean, it's hard because it's like, you know, people, traveling really is an escape in a way. You know, it's like an escape from your everyday life, which I understand, and I feel like you mentioned, the more you have those highs, the less of a high each one is going to feel. So it's like, if I did travel a lot, like, would I still be getting the same level of happiness and, you know, that kind of feeling that I want to get from it? But, I mean, it really does for me. Like, I feel like I'm just in a more positive state of mind, especially if I'm with people that I love, like my close friends. Like, even traveling with Fran that one time, or when we went away twice, that was so fun.
I also think that perfect example, like you said, travel. Like, travel isn't a finite thing. So every time you do it, it's different.
Right.
So the high is going to be different because you're in a different area.
Exactly.
So I think that, I mean, overdosing and like flooding yourself with the same high over and over again could definitely dull them out. But if you're like seeking new adventures and like experiencing new things, then that one thing can always be fun and I can always make you happy.
Yeah, and I feel like with each trip, like there's always a moment where I'm like, oh my gosh, if I could just live in a state of this right now, it would be amazing.
Right.
I don't know. That's what I think about.
For me, I guess you could consider like travel would be a part of it.
Yeah, it's part of it.
Doing new experiences. So, for example, when we went to Japan, the entire trip, I was happy the entire trip because each day we did something different.
Yeah.
Whether it was like trying a new food, meeting the people from Australia when we did making the sushi, sightseeing, like all those things were like new experiences to me. I mean, doing the wakeboarding thing, it was hella hot outside.
Yeah.
And we had waited so long, but like the whole like experience was new, and I was doing it like you said with people that I cared about and like people who made me happy. So I just think that the opportunity to do new things is what makes me happy.
Yeah, and I think too, I mean, when we went wakeboarding, right, and we first got there, we were looking at everyone there and we're like, oh, like, how is it going to be, you know, like, they seem, like, very tight-knit. I mean, when we went there, everyone, they already looked like they knew each other.
Right.
So we were like, oh, we're the outsiders here, like, how's it going to be? And, like, we were so surprised at how incredibly nice and down-to-earth everyone was.
Right.
And, I mean, before the trip, when you were telling me we were going to go wakeboarding, I was like, are you sure you want to do this? Like,
right. There's a stereotype about the kind of people who do water sports.
Yeah, and I mean, I've never done it before. I was like, man, I'm going to eat it so many times. I mean, which didn't matter. Like, it would have been fun either way, but, like, it just ended up being such a positive experience, and I'm so happy that we did it, and, like, you even pushed us to do it, because I would not have done it otherwise.
It's just, like I said, like, new experiences and pushing yourself to get outside your comfort zone. It's fun to me, and I enjoy that, because I mean,
and I think you need to surround yourself with people who will push you to do that. That's also gonna help you find other passions that you probably didn't even know you had about things.
True. Now you said that you had like hesitations or like an expectation for how the experience was gonna be. How do you think expectation affects the happiness you get from a moment?
I mean, when you have a certain expectation and it's underwhelming, when it's real and you experience it and it's even better than what you expected, obviously, like, you're on a high.
Yeah.
But when you expect something so high to begin with and then it lets you down, then you're just gonna feel like crap about it. Which now, going into things like, even looking for my apartments right now in New York, we always told each other, do not get too excited, because that's what we do. Like, the first place that we were about to really close on or send our application in, we were so excited, everything was going well, but it didn't. So I feel like now the approach I'm trying to take is, like, don't get too excited about things that aren't concrete yet, because then, like, if it falls through, it's just going to be a bad experience.
Yeah, that makes me think that if you're trying to, like, stay even keel with like your mental state and not get too high or too low with expectations because you don't want to be let down, doesn't that kind of like take the fun out of it? Like, you're almost
does.
overthinking?
I mean, yeah, I'm not saying that that's a good way of thinking, because, like, you really shouldn't let that fear of something bad happening, like, prevent you from, like, actually feeling really good about something, which is, I honestly need to work on that myself, because I really try not to get too excited about things because I don't want anything bad to happen. So, I mean, you're right in that sense. You probably should let yourself not let the fear get to you.
Yeah.
But it happens.
I think that, I'm not going to say I'm a master at it, but I feel that there's a pretty good balance between, like, what you expect can happen and what you expect might not happen. And I think that just being honest with yourself, I felt like the wakeboarding, like, I was like, oh, this is going to be the best thing ever. I'm going to ride the board all the way around. I'm going to be like the coolest dude. That was like my expectation. You
didn't even make it to the...
I didn't even stand up on the board.
Yeah.
But just knowing that, like, this is what I want to happen, and if it doesn't happen, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. You see, I feel like I need to get to that point a little bit, where it's like, even if it's not okay, like, I'll just accept it is, whereas, like, sometimes I take the hit too hard.
Yeah. So, I guess we were talking about, like, money and, like, how that can bring happiness or, like, ward off happiness. I personally view money as a tool for happiness. It can either, like I said, it can either bring you happiness if that's the piece missing to get there, or if you have too much of it, it might bring people into your life that might take away your happiness. So, playing on the fact that money is a tool for happiness, what do you think some other tools are that can help people achieve happiness? I think one that you said that resonates with me a lot is the people you surround yourself with.
Yeah, I feel like for me that's like a main tool, because I mean, if you surround yourself with fake people and who one aren't loyal, and two who are doing stuff behind your back, then who do you really have? You know what I mean? Like, if you can't fully trust someone who's supposed to be your close friend, then who are you going to turn to when you're actually, like, not down and out, but, like, when you're in, having lows?
Right.
And I feel like you need those people to uplift you in those moments.
Do you think that people who don't have as many people around them are less happy?
I don't think it's necessary. You don't need a big group of people. I am definitely not that person at all. And it's pretty obvious. Like, I just mainly have close friends. I don't have a lot of friends, but I have close friends.
Right.
And it's a small group. And I feel like the older you get, the more you realize how important having a couple close friends are rather than having maybe 10 or more people as a group of friends.
Yeah, I definitely think that as you grow, the things that make you solidify, and those things, the things that make you solidify, and like the arbitrary traits that you may have like tried or like had growing up that connected you with other people may fade away. So like when you're solidified as who you are, those traits are what you have in common with your closer friends.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Do you think that, I mean, there's tons of people out there who probably don't have friends or like who prefer to stay to themselves. Do you think that they're able to find true happiness alone?
I mean, if that's what they want, then yeah. At the end of the day, it's all about, like, what you want and how you perceive that. Like, I personally want a couple close friends who I can, like, go out with when my work week is insane. Like, I feel like when you have those moments of, like, being super stressed and, like, you're getting pressure from, other environments, you're gonna need a release in that sense. Like, you're gonna need time to just, like, relax, de-stress, and get that out. And it can be by yourself. I definitely need alone time too, but at some level, it's human to crave social interactions.
Right.
Like, that's just a basic human thing. So I feel like whether it's, with your family members if you don't have close friends, or whoever it is, like, you're gonna need some of it.
Yeah. I feel like we talked about, in terms of like travel, people you surround yourself with, experiences, those are all very outward forms of happiness. What are your thoughts on like internal happiness?
I think that comes with finding out who you are. So, I mean, you're not gonna know what's gonna make you happy until you, like, actually take a look at yourself and you say, like who do I want to be? Like, what are my morals? You know what I mean? Like, who do I want to surround myself with? Like, you have to find out who you are and get secure with yourself personally before you can, like, actually be happy with anything else.
So yeah, definitely.
What do you think about that?
I agree. I definitely agree with that. I think that internal happiness is I feel like it's definitely the harder one to find out of the two. And I also think that internal happiness never has like an end. I think that that state is always, you're always reaching for it. And you may, like, say, like, internal happiness is like a cloud, and you walk into the cloud's gonna move away. You're just gonna get a little piece of it, and you're not gonna fully be in it ever. That's my personal thought. It's because, like, every day you're a different person because you're older, you've had new experiences, and all of those affect how you look at yourself inwardly and what you want for yourself next.
Yeah, no, I mean, I definitely think it comes with, like, your different stages in life and, like, what your goals are for each one. That's what's going to play a part in it, but...
Yeah.
And it's crazy because there's people who actually, like, I think run away from, like, trying to figure out who they are. Right. Like, I think there's people who try to surround themselves with a lot of people at once so they don't actually have time to just be alone with themselves and be like, okay, who actually am I? Because they just don't want to get that deep.
I mean, yeah, I feel I've been trying to get into meditation. You look at me crazy every time I say
no, I don't.
Meditate.
No, I don't.
Yo, my girlfriend isn't that supportive of my meditation.
That is not true because I asked you for a meditation video one day.
You're right. But back to the point is that I haven't been doing meditation to find like happiness or anything like that. I've been doing it to see like just to see what could happen. And people say there's all these benefits about you knowing yourself deeply, tapping into inner consciousness, yada. Tons of different like possible benefits from it. But I think that could be a tool that some people could use to find happiness.
Oh,
like,
100%, I agree.
Yeah, like sitting down, meditating. You don't even have to like take it.
It doesn't even have to be long, honestly.
Yeah.
Like I feel like people who start can like maybe do 5 minutes at first and then increase it the more, like 10 minutes and then longer if they want. But I do think it is important to have that alone time with yourself.
Yeah, it's not yeah, I'm not saying like go out and meditate, but the premise of meditation is to like be to yourself and take that time to do whatever you want with it. And like you said, finding out who you are, that might be a tool to reach your inner happiness.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's idea of happiness is going to be different.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like you really need to take a look at yourself and be like, who am I? And like, what are my goals? Because that's how you're going to figure it out yourself.
Yeah. I also, when we were at Yale, we had a guy who was a mental coach, and people, like when we were there, it was like, oh, I don't feel like listening to this dude hype us up. But that was because of who we were and what we had going on back then. But the things he taught us were actually like really good. Especially one, like the self-talk. There've been so many situations where there've been like a hard workout or like something wasn't going right for me.
Yeah.
And me just telling myself, you got this, or it's easy, don't worry about it. Like, I feel like those are tools that everyone has at their disposal.
I agree. It's just like going into like when you're trying to stray away from negative self-talk.
Exactly.
Yeah, you want to have more positive self-talk.
Do you think that external things can help you get to internal happiness, or do you think they're mutually exclusive?
I mean, I think it definitely can help you. Like, for example, you said that guy teaching you that thing, like, just the positive self-talk and, like, saying, oh, okay, like, I got this. That's an external tool that you're using for yourself. Like, he's a coach. He's a mental coach. Do you know what I mean?
I was mostly saying, like, food makes people happy. Do you think that, like, if I ate food that made me happy, I could use that happiness to find internal happiness? Or do you think that they're mutually exclusive? Because, I mean, like, obviously, like, he's an external person, but he's teaching me how to, like, find self-happiness.
I don't think they're mutually exclusive.
You don't think so?
No. I mean, like, if you...
Think about it. So, like, do you think that you traveling the world and seeing new things like that brings you happiness? That's an external thing bringing you happiness. Do you think that you traveling around the world is helping you find inner peace?
I definitely think it is. Because I think the more experiences you have, the more you find out about yourself.
Okay.
You know? And the more you find out about yourself, the more, like, you'll be able to reach the happiness that will be fulfilling to you.
So say I lived my entire life finding new experiences, wakeboarding, traveling, cooking, trying new things, meeting new people, and I never sat down and took time to myself to find inner happiness. Do you think that I would have missed out? on something?
Well, I think you will if you're like running away from
No,
something.
say I'm not. Like, I thought that the external things making me happy was enough. Would I have missed out on a significant portion of happiness by not looking inward for happiness? Tough. We on that philosophical talk right now.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a hard question to answer because...
Well, answer it personally for you.
So how I view it is when we travel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I take away something from it, whether it's like a new cultural experience or, you know, something I didn't know before that I'm like, oh wow, like I'm definitely going to use that mentality going forward. Like, think about it, when we travel we have to be very open, right? Open to new things, cultures, everything. And it may not be something that we've ever done before, and it may be like very different. I don't want to say weird, but like just very different to us, right? I'm definitely going to take that to myself and apply that to other situations here.
Okay.
So it's kind of hard because it's like I would automatically look internally in that sense.
See, I think that this is probably why so many people like suggest and pressure people to travel, because of how much happiness and like how much self growth it can bring you. Because
yeah, exactly.
So like think about it. Say driving race cars is what made you happy, and you drove different race cars, different tracks, raced against different people. You did different types of races. You went to whatever, and like you did that, and you did something new with race car driving everywhere for your entire life.
Yeah.
How does that bring you internal happiness?
I think if you do that and you're like willing yourself to do that, there's something in you that's telling you to do it. You're not going to go and do all those things if you don't want to, right? So it's like if you're going out and actually seeking those experiences, no one's forcing you to do it. Think about it. That's like something telling you that makes you happy. That makes you passionate. The things that you're drawn to are things that you actually like.
I feel that. Yeah. In the past year, what would you say your happiest moment has been? Don't think too hard.
Okay, I will say one of my happiest moments was finding out that my brother was going to live a 10-minute walk away from me.
Okay.
Because he was originally working in California out of college and had been there for a while. And, I mean, we're so close. So, I mean, us being that far really sucked. But knowing that he was just a 10-minute walk and I can go and bother him whenever I wanted was the best thing ever. And we have I feel like gotten so much closer. Not that we weren't before. It's probably the same.
It had been what, like 5 years since y'all had lived together.
Yeah, exactly, because we were both in college, so it was so hard.
A little reunion with your brother.
Alexander.
Oh,
I'm kidding. His name is actually Alexander. Forget I said that. He's gonna.
I'm gonna zoom into your face when you said that.
But yeah, that was really exciting, and I see him all the time now.
That's good. It's very wholesome.
Very wholesome.
Yeah.
What was your happiest moment?
Mine was definitely going to Japan. Just because growing up watching anime, people might call me a weeb for falling in love with Japanese culture, huh?
A weeb.
Yeah. So a weeb is someone who's like obsessed with like anime.
Okay.
And then in turn becomes obsessed with Japanese culture. But basically like, the whole Japanese experience was super dope. It being in the eastern side of the world. Culture's completely different, not to mention the language barrier is huge.
Yeah, I do feel like it was definitely much different from anywhere we had both ever been before.
Yeah, it's almost
not a
like,
typical tropical island.
Yeah.
You know.
But yeah, I don't know. Mentioning the tropical island, I think of Thailand.
Yeah.
Which is definitely like a complete culture shock. But something about, I guess, the fact that Japan was a metropolitan and we live in an urban area, and the fact that they were literally the same style place, but the way they operated was completely different.
Right.
It's like I walked into a different universe.
Yeah, no, I 100% feel that. And like you were saying, even the language barrier and us trying to figure out transportation we, oddly enough, didn't take too long to figure it out, but it's definitely very different. Much more efficient.
The efficiency of
it's insane.
Yeah, made it easy for us.
Yeah, exactly. No, that was insane. I was like, wow, they really operate on some like really good stuff, and I don't know what we're doing over here.
Yeah, I feel like they're several years ahead.
They were so nice too. Not that I was surprised at that, but I mean, like, I feel like, one, being black, when you go to a completely different place like that, you...
Especially when like, black people, not even the minority there, they're almost non-existent.
Yeah, exactly. Like, you're not, I wouldn't say hesitant, but you just don't know how it's going to be and how you're going to be treated. So, I mean, it was pleasantly surprising that everyone was so incredibly nice. I mean, like, even when we looked, like, we were just standing in the train station, people would ask if we need help, and I was like, wow, that was so nice.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed that. That was one of the highlights of my life. Even though this year's been pretty bad, but that was a super dope experience to start the year off with.
You're right. It's crazy, like, how we really went, like,
before coronavirus.
Right before Corona. I mean, it was there.
It was striking.
It was striking, but it wasn't as prevalent.
Yeah.
So good job.
Well, this has been an awesome podcast. I'm super happy that I did the happy podcast with the woman who makes me happy.
You're corny.
So yeah, I want to thank Mackenzie.
You make me happy too.
Oh, so cute. So this is Crew Talk, episode 12. I'm Tim.
Mackenzie.
And we'll catch y'all in the next one.
Bye.